Hey guys, we are here with Survivor season 42, episode 9. And honestly, this was crazy. Just too many things. Uh we're gonna start with last time we have Chanel getting voted out. All right. The alliance sort of solidified where they're gonna go. They all sort of voted together. And you have Romeo throwing a rogue vote to High in order to sow some sort of suspicion and sort of make him a little erratic, which worked exactly how he intended. As soon as they got back, High starts asking questions. He's like, "Who voted for me?" And everyone's like, "I didn't." He's like, "That's." He was like, "That's okay. I know who did it," and he was right. It was Romeo. He knew it was Romeo, and yeah, Romeo just didn't trust him and was now out to get him because uh, uh, I don't know. Well, you know what? It's kind of justified because it was High who kind of wanted to, as soon as Romeo started acting erratic, High was one of the main ones that wanted to flip the votes and get rid of him. So he's correct in assuming he can't trust High. And we come to this episode, and Roxroy is going around shopping an all guys alliance because the numbers, there's 6 guys for women. He's shopping an all guys alliance. He first brought it up to Jonathan and Mike, great people to bring it up to, but he goes to Omar and High. Bad move. High, first of all, there's no way he's going to do an all guys alliance. He's just not going to be the kind of guy that wants to compete fairly with a bunch of dudes. Like, he's just not going to do that. And Omar, definitely not going to do that. He's just not, he's intimidated physically, first of all, and it wouldn't be a good move for him. I think he thinks he has a better chance by sort of, sort of playing this social game, and he doesn't want to create a situation like an all guys alliance where he no longer has maneuverability that he has before. That is his main agency in this game, that he can move in so many different ways because so many people trust him, and he can plant seeds and do whatever he needs to do. If he at any point settled down an alliance solid like an all guys alliance, he pretty much ruins his game. It just wouldn't be a good move for him. So I understandably he's not going to go for it. And High is sort of the same way. High more uses trust, whereas Omar kind of he's more plotting and scheming. So High sort of builds trust with people, and he sort of lets them know that he's solid with them, and he sort of builds an army. He's more of a leader sort of person, whereas Omar is more of a rogue. But that's what Roxroy did. I don't know why well, I know he just doesn't have the social awareness to realize that the people that he's talking to are not going to just buy his ideas, because he's selling it, but he's selling it in his head. He's thinking this is a good idea. Yes, Roxroy is a good idea for you, but you need to have empathy. You need to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes and realize that what might be good for you might not work for them. If he just had just a little bit of that, he would be a lot more aware of what's going on in the game and be able to make good moves. All right, so we're going to come to the immunity challenge, and this time there are 2 immunity individual immunity idols, necklaces that can be won. So they split up the tribes in groups of 5. All right, there's 10 people. They split them in groups of 5, 2 groups of 5, and the last person in each group that remains receive an individual idol, and I believe the last person remaining out of both receives reward. They receive reward for their team, I guess, or whatever group of 5 is on their team. All right. believe the team was like split up between yellow and blue. And I'm going to show you a little image right there. Hold on. All right, so that's the yellow team right there. What they have to do is, this is a classic survivor challenge where you just have to sort of balance on these little rungs right there, as the buoy is just sort of bobbing in the water. As the longer the challenge goes on, usually they have to go up higher and higher all the way till the top. So they're just gonna have to balance there with their feet only, and if they ever dip down and touch the platform or fall into the water, they're out. All right. So on on the yellow team, we have Romeo, we have Hai, we have Omar, Roxroy, and Mike. All right. On the blue team, we have Miriam, Drea, Tori. What is that last girl's name? Damn it, I've meant to remember her name and I still don't. And of course, Jonathan. All right. Of course, let's see. The one to win immunity from the yellow side was, in fact, Hai. He stayed up the longest. Him and Romeo were the last ones up there, and then Romeo fell off, which means Hai was the last one remaining on that side. On the opposite side, the two that stayed up the longest were, damn, what is her name? Chrissy? Is her name Chrissy? No, I don't, damn it, I don't know. Lydia, yes, I think I got that right. All right, we have here, show image. I think it's Lydia, yes. This lady right here, she was, you see, she was it was her and Jonathan were the last ones remaining. She stayed up there for a very long time until eventually she fell, and Jonathan won the immunity, and it became a battle between him and Hai for which team is gonna get the reward. The reward was, I believe, was a barbecue, skewers. And so in the end, Jonathan was able to pull out the win for his team. I did not think he was going to be able to win this challenge, because right away as they started, he was hunched over, and being a bigger guy, bigger feet, it'd be harder for him to stabilize himself there. But he's an all-around athlete, man, and he was able to pull out that win in the end. All right, so we have that. All right, so we have Hai and Jonathan getting individual immunity. They can't be voted out, which is good for Jonathan, because on that team with all the ladies, he was gonna be done. He if he didn't have immunity, it was over for him. I was so nervous when I saw him up there with Lydia, and they were going back and forth. I'm like, please, God, let Jonathan win this, because he's a beast in this game, and I want to see him go far. Don't let him get, don't let him get outed, because if he doesn't win, he's out of the game. All right, I was excited. He won, but then the tribe separated. The tribe separated, and the five split. Go to different tribes. I think they go to the old Taku tribe. The losing group went to the old Taku tribe ground, and of course the other group remained to get their skewers. Immediately, Roxroy is feeling very comfortable. He's like, it's going to be Romeo right away. Romeo's the one that was left out the vote last time, that he split the votes between when they were voting out Chanel, and stuff he knows. And he's not part of their alliance, and he just planted a seed with Hai. They already have that rivalry going. So immediately, that's what he's saying. He talked to Mike. He was like, it's an easy vote. No, there's no need to have a conversation. He talked to Mike. He talked to Omar. Easy vote. Blah, blah, blah. Zero strategizing. He's an idiot. Immediately, Omar up to his own tricks. He's thinking he's got to get rid of Roxroy. And High also has problems with Roxroy, where Roxroy sort of talks over him. When they have a conversation and they're strategizing, Roxroy is very blunt and straightforward, and he doesn't give High he just doesn't have a good relationship with High because their personalities just sort of clash a lot. I think it's more, you know what? I was going to say it's their personality clash, but I think it's more that Roxroy simply does not respect High. The way he talks over him and the way it's definitely not, there's a lack of respect there. He doesn't respect him. And I think that's an issue. At least fake it. You know what I mean? Even if you don't respect him, like at least fake it. And he's just not good with people in that way. Blunt and being straightforward can earn you a lot of trust, but it doesn't earn you a lot of friends. Sorry, and especially in this game, you need friends. So I would tame that down a lot, and he's not doing that. So I mean, I'm also blunt and straightforward, but I am very self-aware, so I wouldn't do that. But Roxroy is his own man, and that's how he decided to play the game. Omar right away talks to Romeo. He's saying, we got to get rid of Roxroy. And the main reason he's doing that is because the whole All Guys Alliance thing that Roxroy is shopping around. So it was a bad move for him to talk to those people about it. And now it's coming back to bite him. Omar's talking to Romeo. Omar wants to keep Romeo around because Romeo trusts him. And everybody else trusts him. But Roxroy, he can't manipulate Roxroy. And that is the reason, that's the main reason he wants to get rid of him. He's just too rigid. So Omar talks to Romeo, and he's telling Romeo, we got to get High on board with this vote. Romeo doesn't trust High, but it's a game thing, and he's gonna have to trust High. Omar talks to High. High's on board because he already had problems with Roxroy, but he has to talk to Mike about it because Mike is his number one in the game. They had an alliance, I think, since day 3. He talks to Mike. Mike is saying he's on board for it, for getting rid of Roxroy, but not now because he'll just sow distrust with the other group that is part of their alliance. That was the end of the conversation that we've seen. Go to a tribal. Let me pull it back and talk about the other side. The other side, Jonathan is feeling himself, and he might have blown up his own entire game. This man went off on one. He first decided he wants to get rid of Drea because she has an idol. And the first person he talked to about it is Miriam, who also has an idol. Dumb move. Why would you do that? You're basically telling her, if this is the reason we're getting rid of someone, it could easily turn on you. Especially as a big guy, and he's supposed to be keeping his threat low. It's not a good move. So disappointed. I really wanted him to go far, and he did this. I couldn't believe it. But not only that, he starts barking orders at her. Not even listening to anything she has to say. He's just barking orders at her. Then he tells her they're going to tell Drea that the votes are going to be on her, but they're going to be voting for Drea, which is dumb as hell. Why would you tell the person that you want to work with you that you're going to tell the other person to split votes on you, on them? That's just so stupid. Anyways, he did that, feeling himself, very confident. Then he goes to Lydia, and completely different conversation with Lydia. With Lydia, he's more talking. He's more suggesting instead of just barking like he did with Miriam. Bro, you can't do that. You're gonna have to. Like, I understand he thinks of Lydia as a little, Miriam's a little younger, so he's as like a little sister. So he's just gonna tell her what to do. With Lydia, she's older, a little bit more respect, but in this game, you're gonna have to treat everybody the same, and that was just a bad move socially. You don't do that. with Lydia, he's suggesting that they get rid of Drea, and he's saying Drea is going to think they're going for Miriam. And then Lydia says this: okay, what if Drea plays her idol, then Miriam goes home? And he's like, in that moment, I was just like, this guy, he's an idiot. I had so much hopes for him, and he's an idiot. He is from Alabama. Education is not the greatest. I didn't think he was going to fit the stereotype, but there it is. And he's talking to her some more. He's saying, we can't tell Tori, because Lydia wants to get Tori on board and to tell Drea to vote Tori, and they vote Drea. She's saying Drea and Tori don't really like each other. They're going against each other. This would be a good move. He's saying we can't trust Tori. Tori's going to tell Drea, and they're going to work together. And I think he's correct. Tori would have done that. He's correct. Lydia feels like she knows those people and what's going on in the game more than him, and they have an argument about that. In that situation, he was in fact correct. But his overall strategy was terrible. First of all, Drea being a big threat in the game works for you, you idiot. Why would you go after her? I understand he wants to make big moves. I understand he wants to build his resume. You're a giant walking target, sir. Why would you get rid of another threat in the game that's keeping you safe just by existing? You absolute moron. And now he's just, by doing that, by making that move, he just lost Drea's trust. Drea, who's part of an alliance with him. It was just so freaking stupid. So we come to the vote for the losing, well, they didn't lose, but they lost the reward. We come to the vote for those guys. All right, let's see a little picture of them right here. All right. You got Hi, Mike, Roxroy, Omar, and Romeo. They're talking, Roxroy is like, oh, there's no strategizing. We all just sort of sit back and just sort of enjoy the sun or whatever. He's an idiot. I believe Romeo was talking about, oh, there was less strategizing. It was just guys being guys. They just sort of nodded at each other. All nonsense. He's feeding into Roxroy's bullshit. They're pretty much blindsiding him, so they're just telling him whatever he wants to hear. So the conversations are just basically just them explaining that there wasn't strategizing, and no one really ran around and did any of that. Even though they did, the only person left out was Roxroy. And it came down to the vote. Roxroy voted for Romeo. Everybody else voted for Roxroy. He's out. So now we have on the jury, we have Chanel and Roxroy. The other tribe walks in, sees them, sees the jury out there sitting there, and they see Roxroy and Chanel. And immediately they sit down and chaos ensues. Because now, hold on, let me see if I can get a picture of them. Now, Miriam and Drea are shook up because you got two Black people on the jury, and they're planning a blindside on Drea, which optically doesn't look good. There's no way Miriam's going to go for that or Drea is going to go for that, because now you have 3 black people on the jury, it just ain't going down like that. Like normally, I'd be like, this race thing is just stupid. But in this situation, bro, even though it was a little annoying, they harped on it a little bit too much, and they were talking about a racial thing. But in this situation, I'm gonna have to agree with them. Like you can't just you have an entire jury full of black people and expect the 2 black people to vote each other out to add to the jury. Are you crazy? Like the amount of shit they would get for that, there's no way they're gonna do that. Like they just can't. Like I understand from a standpoint of when you have that sort of minority groups, they have to think about optics a lot more than white people. It's to put it bluntly, there's so many white people playing Survivor that as a white person going and playing that game, you can be an individual. You no longer have to be socially aware of how you look and how you portray yourself because you're representing a group. You know, you no longer have to think about that group image. So it never consciously or subconsciously enter your mind. But as a minority, it does. That plays effect in your mind, and you have to be careful of how it looks, not only for yourself, but as a group, because you're representing that group, especially on TV, where there's a lot of people that don't see minorities a lot in their life. When they see you, you're going to be a representation of that minority group in their eyes, because who else are they going to see, you know? So just that subconsciously unconscious awareness sort of comes effect in this game. I understand what they were trying to say. Of course, they did a lot of crying, and that stuff is annoying. But I understand their point. They just couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it, to be honest with you, if I was in that situation. So they did an odd thing where Drea was immediately like, "I'm gonna play my idol. I'm just not going home. I'm gonna play my idol." As soon as she said it, Jonathan immediately switched up. He's like talking to Drea. He's like, "Who do you want to go?" She's like, "Tori." So he talked to Miriam. It's gonna be Tori. Talk to Lydia. It's gonna be Tori. And then Lydia talked to Tori and told her it's still gonna be Drea. They're gonna split the votes on Drea. And then Miriam, you know, she gets into the whole racial thing, and she's saying she's gonna play her idol too. They're like to take out the option of any of them going home and joining the jury and becoming a whole cast of just black people on the jury. So she says that. Now the options came down. They're doing all of this right there in front of Jeff, and Jeff was like, "Well, how are we going to do this? Are we going to do this right now?" So they no longer go and vote. It's a live tribal. They're saying they're going to play their idols. Jonathan asked, "What's going to happen? Are they going to give up their idols right now, and then we try to vote?" Jeff says, "Sure, however you want to do it." They hand them their idol, so now they can't vote for Drea, Miriam, or Jonathan because they're all safe. Now it became down to Tori and Lydia. Right away, they all sort of just told Tori it's going to be her, and she's like, "All right, I guess I'm just going to have to play my shot in the dark then." She goes to play the shot in the dark, and she wasn't safe. So she got voted out. It's unfortunate. She was a big player in the game. Those competition wins, that 2 individual immunities in a row. Sad to see her go, man. Damn, I hate to see a good competitor go down like that, but that's how it is. Jonathan basically blew up his social game by doing that, by making all those moves and trying to blindside Drea. And the other team already voted out someone from their alliance. So it's going to be a scramble to reform a different alliance around the people that are now available. And Drea can't trust Jonathan. Jonathan's left out of that. He can't trust the guys. They voted out Roxroy. It's going to be a scramble, but it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of excited for the next episode. So till next time, guys.